Pete from Like Gun Lunatics. A couple of people have asked about the foot pedal, and I was also really keen to actually do a bit of an instructional video on my quest to getting a foot pedal, where in fact I got two. This is the second of the two that I've already purchased. I bought them as a pair. Thanks to the group for providing links and ideas of where to try and source one of these pedals. I suspect I got it from one of those sources. But look, at the end of the day, it came in at a really good price for me. I've considered using the small USB pedals from Amazon, but considering that the size of me, I reckon I'd crush one of those pedals in a fit of rage as I'm losing my shit playing Time Crisis. So I've been researching this for quite some time, and then thanks to the group throwing a few ideas around and where to get these kinds of things, I pulled the trigger, pardon the pun, and I took the plunge. So how much did this pedal cost me? I'll talk about US dollars and Australian dollars because I'm in Australia. So if everyone's probably more benefit than me, I pay $51 US just for this pedal. So I got two, plus of course you have to pay your relative tax and postage wherever you are located on the planet. I'll provide some links in the video descriptions as I go along. Yeah, they've got all sorts of different pedals going, and really look, I was thinking about going and taking the plunge and sinking $400 plus tax plus postage on one Sinden pedal, and I just thought, when I saw this, I thought, well, for $50, why not? Does it come with all the parts? No, it doesn't, but I'll quickly go through and talk to you about what parts you actually need to get. Thankfully, it's not a lot. So for $51, $52 US, you get a really sturdy pedal. You can see it's like it's got a couple of little marks and scratches on it, but like shit, it's going to be on the floor. No one's going to notice. And as long as it works, hey, that's great. Comes with the spring. It came with the micro switch. It came with a light sensor switch as well, but obviously I'm not going to use the light sensor switch. Unless someone tells me there's a super duper reason for it. But I've already done the first pedal and tested it just to make sure I've got everything hooked up correctly, and it just works just amazingly well. Yeah, so 52 you get that and that. The only other parts I really needed to get was the keyboard encoder. That was $10 Australian plus postage, so I got two plus postage, which comes automatically with a really long USB, a shitload of wire, which, I won't need. So I need like one. So I've got spare wire. So I'll just throw that in the box over there. And then I had some, carbon fiber type camo wrap from other projects, and I'm just going to dress the back of it. But obviously you could just, pretty much do whatever you like, repaint it, etch it, cut it, stick LEDs all over it, do whatever you like. But for now, I'm just going to just keep it like that. And what I'm going to do is going to take a couple of short videos of how I've basically pulled it apart, give you a walkthrough of what's inside this particular pedal, how I hooked up the keyboard encoder, and then give a quick demonstration on how I actually use it on my arcade cab. So I'll just stop the video now and I'll start doing the teardown. Okay, part two of the teardown and assembly of the pedal. Look, it really straightforward. Essentially, like from the original first video, it comes essentially assembled like this, and you have 4 screws that go into the back, and then this plate is actually holding down the actual foot pedal with the tensioning spring underneath it. So I'm just going to show you like what I mean by tensioning spring. So, you've got to just be careful when you're undoing the screws, because then the pedal will jump at you, because this is actually holding down the back of the pedal, so it doesn't go all over the shop. But again, like super solid material. This is the inside of the pedal. Like what I've done is I've just saved having you sit through me putting screws in and the like, but this is it. This is the micro switch I showed you earlier. A couple of screws that hold the micro switch in, with a couple of little nuts which I had floating around. Again, just got to make sure that it's all nice and solid. This is the wire that's hooked up that I had. with the keyboard encoder. Got the keyboard encoder double taped to the back of it so it doesn't just float around and short out or anything. Here's the USB cable, which is, like I said, it's like, you know, really, really long, right? So, yeah, there's no shortage of cable in for my setup. I don't think you probably need an extension cable, but each to their own. This is the spring that comes along with the actual kit. It sort of just sits in this sort of like little hole here. And then on the back of the pedal, you'll actually see there's another one there. So when you go to actually mount the pedal per se, you just basically put the spring between the two cups, if I can call it that, and then, you know, you can sort of get a feel for how it actually works straight away. I've assigned this one to a particular letter on this keyboard encoder and the other one to a different. My other pedals are assigned to a different letter on the keyboard encoder, and I guess, look, a little bit of trial and error on my personal setup, but I guess being a keyboard encoder, you've got many options that you can actually use. It doesn't screw around with USB assignments and what have you, and if you really honestly need to change it, there's probably software that can do it on the fly, but 4 screws and you take the back plate off and you move it from one to the next, or, you know, whatever letter you actually got on the back of the encoder. Again, I'll put the link in the description for where you get those encoders as well. So yeah, so that's really it. Like, it's remarkably straightforward, you know, just to get it going. Look, I know there are versions with light sensors and plungers, like the original Time Crisis pedals, if you want to get really authentic and what have you. But yeah, no, again, I really can't justify $400 for one pedal when I could pay a couple of hundred and have two working the way I would like them working. But anyway, what I'll do now is I'm going to button all this up, show you what it looks like with the camo vinyl on the back, and then hopefully I'll then do some very cryptic gameplay about how they actually use and do a wrap-up video. Okay, pedal number 2, which will match pedal number 1. You can see the camo carbon vinyl wrap that I had floating around. Got some dust on it already. You know, I might change it, who knows. But hey, look, four screws. You can change it to whatever you want it to be, or powder coat it and spray paint it. But look, I've taken the wings off the side of it, because you might have seen in the earlier part of the video series, it's had some wings that you use to actually bolt it to an actual arcade machine. I've just taken them off just to neaten it up, and, you know, probably one less thing for me to trip over or whatever. I was thinking about bolting them together, but then you're going to be playing with 2 players, and it's going to be a bit cozy and friendly to have them bolted together. So there'll be two separate pedals. Just put on some rubber feet down the bottom, you know, $2 from the $2 shop. Here's that really long extension cable that I've just got running out of the back there. And I guess if you wanted to, because the encoder's got like a little voltage power out on it, you could probably put some LEDs in there if you wanted to get a bit of a light show coming out of the back of the pedal, or put some higher feet in there and get LEDs underneath there if you really wanted to. There's probably even a lip or something that you could do under here to be able to do that. But look, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. This checker plate just comes off too really, really easy. So if this ever just got, you know, banged up, then you just go down to Bunnings and really just get another piece of checker plate and cut it out, and or replace it with some of the different ones you've got. I know there's a black chrome and a red chrome and gold kind of chromey ones as well. On that, you go, this has got a few scratches on it, but, you know, shit, your foot's going to be slamming into it. You can hear the micro switch under the spring. Yeah, really straightforward setup. I'll be honest, it probably took me longer to record all this than actually pulling it all together, once I sort of quickly worked out where all the parts went. So I would say probably 20 minutes, and you'll have a fully functional pedal for maybe $60 US plus postage if you just get all your parts and get yourself all organized. Anyway, so that's the assembly done. I've got the other pedal already upstairs, so I'll do a quick video of me having a few games on Time Crisis 5 so you can actually just see how it works. Rightio, last video, you can see that I've got the two Time Crisis pedals down the bottom on my multi-cab beast. So what I've done is I've obligatory had to, pop the cork on both these pedals playing Time Crisis 5. So I'm going to quickly go and load Time Crisis 5. I've got this on my own personal launchbox build. Got a main hooker hooked into this. I'm hoping that will actually work as well, so you get to see how the main hooker hooks in. I'll do up its COM ports and everything. It's going to get pretty loud in here pretty quickly once it's all loaded, but you'll probably start hearing solenoids and other things firing off as main hooker and everything happens behind the scenes. Okay, it's all firing up. I'll grab my gun for IR weapon of choice, so you can hear main hooker just hooked into that. Then it says step on pedal to start, so I'll just step on a pedal and then away we go. So I'll just do a bit of stage 4. You get to probably hear how the main hooker actually hooks into this gun for IR rig that I've got, because it's got the solenoid and the rumble motor in there too, so it's pretty cool in regards to damage and all sorts of things. I'll quickly just hit the skip button. I'm trying to get a good shot so you can actually see me using the pedals, but it'll say start from the right position. So I'll go to machine gun. I'll go to single shot. So with main hooker, I can't fire without it. So